and I'm here on September 22nd. 2021 is actually a Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're doing a live chat today. We're going to have a little mini haul. And I say mini, but it has grown more since I put mini in the title. We're going to do a haul, and then we're also going to show you some antique quilt tops that I received, also some blocks that I've had, but I couldn't even find all of my antique blocks, so maybe I'll show you the rest of them when I come back across them, since I'm organizing or reorganizing stuff. I put them in one drawer. Apparently I needed more space for some stuff that was in the drawer above it, and I moved them, and I can't remember right now where I moved them to. So welcome everybody to tonight's live. Hopefully you all are having a great week thus far. And yeah, I'm going to pull you all up on my cell phone. Let's see, I got one more button I need to change here. I'm trying to figure out, like, what did I do with my... I guess I didn't bring back my stand for my phone that I normally use here, so I guess I gotta hold it. Let's see. Pull you all up so I can get to the comments. So we still got the stuff up here from yesterday when people were in here early thinking that I was going to do Tuesday. So, yeah. All right. Okay. So I can't get the unpinned message from the top, but that's okay too. Let's go and see if I can find who's in here today as compared to yesterday. And I'm not sure. See, 658. So I guess all of these comments are for today. Maybe. I can't get up to the top. Okay. I don't know exactly if these comments are from yesterday or today. So I'm just going to start with 6:50 p.m. Quilt Gal. Katrina, mine might show up by Christmas. I think they're talking about patterns or something. Beth Bueller says, happy hump day, Miss T, and all the fabulous quilters. So hello to you, Beth. Quilt Girl says, I think T wiped the old chat off. I was trying to just take off my statement. And it don't normally stay there that long anyway, so it was kind of surprising to see it. So, yeah. Happy autumn from Terry T. Mary says, howdy, fellow quilters. Maddie Barnum says, hello, T and everyone. I remember the thumbs up. Well, thank you. Dolores Felt says, hello, all T quilters. Jackie K says, hello, T and friends from soggy Brantford, Ontario. My dad is all moved in with us, so it's nice to join you again. Well, welcome back, Jackie. Maxie Doodle says, happy Wednesday, everyone. Hi, Miss T. Lynette Williams says, hello, everyone. I'm almost done reading my pattern, trying to decide on fat quarters. I've got a lot. I'm not good at mixing colors. I overthink it. I think I overthink it. Overthink everything. I think I overthink everything. Laughing out loud. And I'm using fat 8s, and I have fabric left over, and I even cut a border block from each of my pieces. So I think fat quarters would be plenty. Darlene Crosby says, hello, T and everyone. Winfred Baptiste says, hi, good evening, Mrs. T and Quilters families. Yes. And Lynette's also reminding people to hit that thumbs up. Thank you. Anita Baker says, hello all. Maxie Doodle says, Lynette, I'm trying not to overthink things too. And I haven't thought about it at all. All I'm doing is worrying about one block at a time. Wash Your Hands is here. Says, hello, everyone. It's Teresa Bueller from the Facebook group. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Teresa. Beth says, Lynette, I'm right there with you. Hi, everyone, from Diane57. Jonah Crutchfield says, hello from Colorado. Shayna Crucy says, good to see you. Vivian Calvi, hi, T and everyone. Janet Mackerel, hello to everyone. C-Rax says, hello, T and everyone from yesterday. We are ready, T. Yes. Jean says, hi, everyone from Wet and Cold, Indiana. And Diane says she's still working deciding on her fabrics. Slowing Down Joe says, hello, T and everyone. Craft with Love says, thanks, Katrina. Virgie says, hey, everybody. Stephanie of Memoirs of a Longworm Quilter says, hello, T and everyone. Happy Wednesday. Yes. Seabrax is still deciding upon fabrics. Deborah Sims Brown says, hi, T and everyone from Maryland. I think I have the correct day now. Remo JS says, good evening, Miss T and Quilters. Oh my gosh, she says my father-in-law passed away on Sunday and my dad got out of the hospital Monday. Please keep us in your prayers. So sorry. You got so much you're going through, you and your family, so definitely you're in the prayers. So sorry about that too. Beverly Aiken says, hello, T and T Quilters. And Remo's also reminding people to thumbs up. Melinda C says, hello, T and quilting friends. Thumbs up. Scotty Hughes says, hi, Miss T and everyone. Glad to be here. Leetta Bryan says, hello, T and T Quilters. Tiffany of Tiffany's Quilting Life says, hello, T and friends. Hey, Tiffany. Teresa McCormick goes, hello, T and T Quilters. Happy Wednesday. And Mary says to Remo, all my thoughts and prayers now and in the days to come. And it's going to be a lot more of those that are going to come out. We're just really sorry that Rose is having to go through all of that. So just take care of yourself. David Pigments here says, good evening, Your Highness, and all of us T subjects. Release the doves. She is here. He's another Kevin. It's trying to cast to my Roku TV. We don't want that. Jean says, are we going to have to get together on Wednesdays now? I haven't decided. I am probably going to do like a couple of weeks at least on Wednesday. I've decided I've only been having like a couple of people in the workshop on Tuesdays, and Tuesdays come really fast for me. So I am considering moving back to Wednesdays unless all of a sudden it gets cold outside and people are now ready to get their exercise in. I have no idea. So Tuesday this week came so fast because I have spent my entire week working with the 4-star general doing something with that sew along. So, it's just me, one person here, and it's 108 of you all, I think. Something like that. I can't remember what the number is right now. And people are getting antsy about the patterns. We all know that the U.S. postal system is not doing the most fantastic job. I sent my packages first class mail. They did not go out media mail. But people that I mailed a pattern to 2 weeks today got them either yesterday or today. My number 1 and number 2 on the list just got their patterns this week, and they were mailed out last Wednesday. 2 weeks ago today, they were mailed out. So I can't control how the patterns are being mailed out. And I guess I didn't want to burden you all with an $8 priority mail cost, which I guess is what I should have done. Then I wouldn't have all these issues that's going on now. But I felt like when you're paying $20 for a pattern and then having to pay another $8 for shipping, I felt like it was going to be a bit costly and people may not want to do that. So I was trying to do shipping as cheaply as I could for first class, which is first class oversized document. And yeah. And so they are taking a lot longer to get through the postal system. And I dropped every envelope off except for one that I gave my postal carrier. I dropped every envelope off at the post office myself, so I know they got it. So I can't control when you're going to get your patterns or how you're going to get your patterns. So I've been dealing with that kind of stuff behind the scene. I'm getting numerous things, wanting to know what number were they, what date was it mailed, and that they haven't gotten it. And I'm sorry about the delay in the postal service. It's totally out of my control. So hopefully everybody will have their patterns by the 1st. I just mailed one today who may not get hers by the 1st, but we are hoping that everybody get theirs by the 1st. I don't know what else to say. I've done the best that I can. So when Tuesday came around yesterday, I was not in the mood to be having a live chat. I was exhausted. And I just needed a break because I have been doing what you all don't see on YouTube who are not in the 4-Star Generals group is that I've been doing picture tutorials on piecing because I feel like more instructions was needed than what was given in the pattern. I've also made die cutting lists for people. I've also made a chart of what counts are in, like what size pieces finish in your actual block units. So I have been busy working on 4-Star General in some form that when Tuesday came, I was like, no way, Jose. I needed a break. So yeah, I didn't get a break because stuff still came up. I'll tell you anyway. I wasn't going to even mention it, but I ended up getting a migraine about 6 o'clock yesterday. And I was out for the count all night after that. And I thought it was just a regular headache at first, and then it developed into, I figured out that it was a sinus headache. So I have no other sinus issues or symptoms, but the sinus headache came. And the only thing that took the headache away, it wasn't pain pills, it was sinus meds, okay? So it's kind of weird. I guess it's that, fall coming, the leaves must be doing something outside, and my body picks up on all of that. So I was out. So I've been kind of in bed off and on throughout the day. So Judy is here. Hello, tea and quilters. People are still giving prayers to Remo. It's going to be a lot of those. As I said, Kevin the Quilter says, representing the beautiful Show Me state of Missouri where the buck stops here. I am Kevin the Quilter. Greetings, Miss T and all tea quilters. So now he's announcing himself. Deborah says, sorry for your loss, Remo. June Hansen says, hi, T and everyone. Dora So says, good evening, T and T quilters. I hope everyone is having a good evening. She's still trying to decide on fabric. Cynthia Shea says, good evening to all from cold Chicago. Helena Marie Carter says, hi, T and quilters. Elaine F. came home from a mini vacation and my pattern was in the mail. Well, thank goodness. Thank you, T. Ready to start looking for just the right material, the most challenging for me. Wash your hands is saying hit thumbs up yesterday. That is too funny. Vanessa Brown says, hi, T and everyone. I received my pattern. Thank goodness. She says, starching my scraps. Yes. Important step. Bonita Nan says, hello, Miss T and everyone. Marceline Pond says, hello, everyone. I'm in the Caribbean Dominica. Hello. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you popping a comment into the chat box. Francis Jackson says, hello, T and everyone from rainy Lathrop Village, Michigan. And Beth saying hi to Marceline. Lynette Williams is sending prayers. Susan T says, hi, T and everyone. Just did AccuQuilt order. T, order through your link. Thank you for all your beautiful AccuQuilt information and all your hard work. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me know because somebody else told me they did one on Sunday and today. So I'll go check and make sure that I've got 2 showing for today. because I just like to make sure if I'm referring people over there that they're actually giving me credit, because otherwise I don't know whether you use my link or not. They just tell me what I've got. So it's just nice to be able to double check sometimes. So thank you, Susan, for that. Sharon Lewis says, hi, T, and happy quilting to all quilters from Washington, D.C. Virgie, how many blocks did you get done with Kevin? 2 blocks and one border piece when I was sewing with Kevin. It's in the video. Tiffany is welcome everybody joining the live. Please give T a thumbs up. Thank you, Tiffany. Says, yay, Wednesday sounds great. Beth says, I greatly appreciate all the work you have done for us. You're welcome. It is a lot of work. I don't mind doing it overall. It's just that some parts of it can be overwhelming when I'm being hit by a lot of people at the same time. And I'm just one person and people are expecting me to respond to them like that. They don't even give me time to respond. I'm getting the email. I'm getting it online. I'm getting this and that. It's like, okay, chill. I see it. But I got to, I can't respond to you in the next minute all the time. I'm maybe working with somebody else. You're not the only one that's contacting me. I'm not just sitting here doing nothing. I'm taking pictures and trying to make tutorials for you all as well. So I just ask for people to have patience, number one, and don't hit me up on all social medias. Tananji Roberts says, good night, all. Sue GSD says, happy fall, y'all. Good evening, TNT Quilters. You have no idea how much you are appreciated for what you do for us. So thank you, Sue. I do know that the majority of you all appreciate, even the people that are anxious and antsy about their patterns. I know that they appreciate everything I'm doing. And I understand that you want your stuff, but it's like totally out of my control that it hasn't been delivered when I do all I can on my end. So I'm basically just giving you information that's not going to change the status of you not having your pattern at that moment. So I guess that's where I'm coming from. But I do realize that 99% of you all really do appreciate everything that I do. So I do understand that. So thank you for that. Jean says, we paid for overnight and paid $10 and it still took 10 days. Not your fault. Now, see, that's ridiculous. And when I normally send my stuff priority mail, they normally would get it within 3 to 4 days. 2 weeks to get a letter is just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And Beth says, totally not your fault about the mail. I know that. Susan says, they're still sending Remo. Sorry about your loss. Sending prayers. T, you have been so awesome with us, giving us information on whatever we would ask, even about our late patterns. You are appreciated greatly. Well, thank you. T, can I get my blocks done simply by studying your amazing instructional post in the Facebook group? You need to make sure, like on all of them, I may not be telling you what you need to cut for your, like if you're going to use the charts and you understand those charts, then yes, you can. If you are an advanced quilter and know what you're supposed to add for your seam allowances, then yes, you can. You can just use those charts because I kind of put little X's in the box to tell you what you need to do. So you could. T, did you see my order? If you sent an order today, Melinda, I haven't seen any order. I haven't been in my email since maybe around 3 o'clock or something because I've been working on what I'm working on tonight. Seem like we're going to be in here a while tonight. So I'll have to look for that. Let me see. Melinda C. I don't see an order, Melinda. I don't know what date you put an order in. I know that you put another order in when I sent you your pattern and some fabric. And then you also got a box. Other than that, I don't see an order. So let me know I don't see anything through CashApp either highlighting. So I don't see anything right now, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It could be in spam. I didn't go check that. So let me go back up here. Oh, I'm almost to the bottom. No, I'm not. Deborah says, hope you are feeling better, T. Thank you. It is much better today, but I got to remember when I get off here to go take my meds because I forgot to take it before I came in here. So I don't want it to come back. It's ragweed seasons for allergy. And see, I normally didn't have like the grass type stuff. I would have like the flowering things, like the pollen stuff that would flower in the spring. I never did have like fall allergy. So I guess I'm just going to be somebody that's going to have sinus issues year round, I guess. Ella Odom says, good evening, Miss T and Quilters. Wash your hands says, very nice of you to provide the instructions and the list for us. I know it's a lot of work. Thank you. We appreciate you. Yes. And I also did a live video in Facebook group too on Sunday. So it was like when Tuesday came, I go, I need a break. No, Diane says, oh, that's why I sounded so funny, Diane. I know you was like, what is this girl doing? I started not to even answer the phone, but I said, let me answer the phone because I knew who it was. And I said, normally when she calls, it's something. So I answered the phone, and I know I sounded like real crazy because this whole side of my head was just messed up. I'm like, hello, Diane. You doing what you supposed to do if I'm not where you think I'm supposed to be. Beverly Aiken says, I appreciate everything you've done for the soil loan. Thank you so much. Thank you. I take bee pollen, a bit pricey, but worth it. And that's what I've been trying to find is somebody to make honey close to me because they said that would help, but there is no beekeepers in my area. And it needs to be as close to where you live for it to be effective. The most effective anyway. The most effective. But I haven't found that yet. Even the person I buy my meat from a farmer, straight from a farmer, they make honey, but it hasn't been a whole lot of honey being made. The bees are just being lazy. So, yeah. It's like whoever thought we had lazy bees. Thank you, Jean, for giving people the thumbs up. I can't remember if I did that. Remo says she needs to get things together for her 4-star. T says, thanks for all the tips. Don't starch, but will definitely start. You want to starch on these. They so tiny. Much love to you, Remo. Beth says, I placed a big order with your link to AccuQuilt. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Dee Dee Hansen here from Michigan. Hi, Dee Dee. And Dolores says, oh, Dee Dee, I'm going to open up your box on this live. If you don't want me to do that, let me know. And you can put some more information in the comments about it, too, if you want. I know that you're working on it with a little girl, but I don't know much information. I can't remember. My brain's fried. I didn't go back and check the email. Dolores says, I ordered 6 dyes via your link on Monday. Okay, check that. So that should be 1 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. And today is Wednesday. Should be 2. So, yeah. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Linda DeVito says, hi, T and everyone. Welcome from Beverly Hills, Florida. Hello, Linda. Stephanie says, I did an order on your link also on the 19th. Okay, and that was, I can't remember. Was that Sunday? I have to look. So it should be, I'll get them figured out. It's the 4-star for quilting beginners. The only reason I would say no is because it's tiny pieces, but I'm one of those people that I think if you have proper teaching that you can do whatever. The main thing with this is that you need to know your 1/4-inch seam. And then I've given you tips in the group for how to handle small pieces. And we're not going to go through all of that here. Dee Dee says she ordered dyes from the link yesterday. Thank you, Dee Dee. Maddie says, giving prayers. French Seams is here saying good evening to all. Rebecca Giski says, I love your channel. Thank you, Giski. Melinda C says on the website last week, I think Saturday. I don't know. I have to look, Melinda. I remember sending you 2 packages within the past week. I can't remember. I think it was for fabric. If it was for the fabric, all of that was mailed. So, yeah. And your fabric, if it was the fabric you're looking for, it was mailed with your pattern. So I don't know if you've got your pattern yet. I can't remember. I have to check through PayPal. Claudette Bettis is here saying hello, T and everyone. Hi, Claudette. I was worried about you not being able to make it because it's on a Wednesday. Just to let you know, I've made 4 large AccuQuilt orders to your affiliate link from June through September. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, Teresa. Barbara Freeman says, I'm not a quilter, but I love your channel. Well, hi, Barbara. Thank you so much. Melinda say, okay, it was the pattern. Okay. And she says, thanks. Dee Dee says, like I said in my recent email to you, you are up to your butt in alligators with the 4-store generals. Look like you have it all under control now. Yeah, I'm just trying to wait for those last patterns to come in. So it's starting to get better. Sue says, had the same problem last night and today. The front that came through Monday night caused a lot of mold and barometric pressure change. And maybe that's it, because I do have mold and mildew as allergies. So I didn't even think about that. Go ahead. You can open the box. Thank you. I want to make sure. Didi says, designed by my 9-year-old student I have been tutoring. At the beginning of pandemic, she was reading 3rd from the bottom. Wow. By the time she went back to school, she was in the top 3rd of class. Now, that's awesome. And she says her parents speak Spanish only at home, so it is harder to learn to read. So that's pretty cool. The bee population is low due to bug killer sprayed on flowers. Okay. And Didi says, I think I got my photo in the albums. Had to put it in my own album. Hope it got there. When you go and open up the folder that I have for photos, this is for the people that are in any groups on Facebook. You click on, if you're on your desktop, it's going to say media. And then when you click on media, you have to then click on albums. Then you click on the prospective album you want to put your block in. You open that up. And then when you open it up, under the description of the album, it has a tab for you to add photos. So that's how you add photos into a actual folder. You've got to open that folder up. Brenda Foley says hello with a wave. Teresa says, T, I just made a strong cup of coffee. Can't locate the box the sugar is in. Join the club, girl. Damali J says hi, T, and everyone. And Tiffany says, welcome everyone joining again. So thank you, everybody. Hit the thumbs up. We're going to get started because I got a lot of stuff. Okay, it kept growing. And I am not going to be able to read these instructions. I don't want to sit this on my card. And I left my, it must be from when I went to Kevin's house. All right, first things up. I always tell you all, even though I'm an AccuQuilt affiliate, whenever it's time for me to, if I'm looking for AccuQuilt, I just go out on the marketplace and I just search to see if I can find something cheaper first. Most times I don't, and I go ahead and order through AccuQuilt. This time I got a hit on 2 dyes. I've been wanting to make a sunbonnet Sue. I want to make a twist on the sunbonnet Sue pattern. And so I've been wanting to get that, but hadn't done it because it wasn't a priority. But I went on there and somebody was selling the sunbonnet Sue and overall Sam for $15 each. And then she said if you buy both of them, you can get them for $25. So of course I bought both of them for $25. These dyes retail at $45. So I could not get this for $12.50 off of AccuQuilt site. So I'm not encouraging you always to, like, if you have to buy from Quilt, please use my link. I order from them 90% of the time. But there are times when stuff is in the marketplace where I can do a local pickup, then I go do that. So I just got the Sunbonnet Sue dye. These are the clothing. You know, Sunbonnet Sue doesn't have a face. And then the overall Sam dye. Both of these $12.50 a piece. Still in the packaging. They did mark their dyes like I do, so you know where to place. So I saw that they had marked the outline of the blade, so you know where to put your different fabrics for the different clothing pieces. But no rush to do this, but I'm glad that I have it. Now I don't have to worry about looking for that anymore. I got it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do what I ordered from Quilt. I see a long comment. Deborah Quilts came in, says hello T and Teaquilters. Back Home Quilter says hello from Texas. Hello, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you commenting as well. T, can you tell me what the numbers you write on the dies are again? Is that the size of the fabric you need to cut for that die? Yes, it is. So when I have a shape, say it's my shape is rectangular. Like I got 5 die cuts, but they're all rectangular. So what I do is I draw a line 1/4 of an inch around the entire shape. And then I measure that with my ruler. And then I write that on the die. So when I'm cutting fabrics, it's face up and I get to see exactly what it is that I need to cut. So I write all that information on my die board so I don't have to measure it every time I use that die. And especially when you're using dies that are like geometric as far as piecing, you know, your traditional piecing die, you're going to be using those a lot more than you're going to be using applique dies. So this is a big box here. I just want to get this out the way so I can move it on. So give me a second here. I just ordered Quilt special on this because I wanted the feathered star die, and they had it on a special. And this one, it's a big die too. You definitely need the go or the go big for this. This is not gonna work in the small cutter like some of your other long dies. But this is the feathered star, so I got that. And with that, in the special, was the weather vane. And I wasn't going to get the weather vane because it does use a parallelogram, or I don't know what you call that shape. It's not a parallelogram because it's parallel. So it is a parallelogram. And I wasn't going to get this at first, but then doing that video, they had one of their experts that they hire out to do different things with their dies. They actually did something different with this die, and I like the different things that they did with it, so I went ahead and ordered the die. So I got those 2 dies, and those are the only 2 dies I bought, except I didn't even bring them in here, the old ones. If you all have a studio system, they have adapters that you can put these on top of your go dies, and it makes it so that when you place your go die on this, put this in your studio tray, then you've got enough pressure to cut your go dies on your studio system. I've had these before, but they had weird sizes. Now they have come out with these where they make them to fit the tray, which is much better, because when they made them to fit the die boards, which is what they did before, you had them slipping all around in the tray. So if my piece was this big, the old die adapter was like this big, and then this was slipping all around in the tray. Now I can just put this in the tray and place my die anywhere on the tray that I like. You had to pull it back into the corner. It was too much playing. So I'm glad they did that. So I'm happy to buy. I bought this one, and this is for my small tray, and I also bought the one for my large tray. Happy to upgrade to these. This is what they should have come out with in the first place. But we got them now. So let me move this over because this is a pain. And I see all kinds of comments. I don't know if you all talking to me or other people. And Stephanie is saying, thank you. You're welcome. Teresa Davidson came in, says, hi, Miss T and Quilt family. Dee Dee says, what kind of pens do you use for writing on the dies? If it's the light gray die, I just use a black Sharpie. You know, they have two-tone dies, and sometimes the background is light, sometimes the background is dark. And I haven't figured out why they haven't stabilized that part yet. But anyway, if it's a dark background, then I use like a silver Sharpie, a silver metallic Sharpie. When you use that silver metallic Sharpie, you need to mark your dies the day before you're going to use them, because that silver needs to dry. Matter of fact, even when I use a black Sharpie, I go ahead and just do it the day before I'm going to use it. Or go ahead and do them when you buy your dies and put them up, because then that way they're all marked and ready to go. But if you are going to mark your dies, I do recommend you wait and not put fabric on it right after you mark them. So that's a good question. And Diane says, oh, I've been wanting those dies, but like you said, not a priority. Yep. And when the Feather Star first came out, I didn't buy it, because I wanted to make sure if they needed to make any corrections that they had made those corrections, because the Feather Star is so persnickety. And I think when I buy it on the second round, I think then I'll know for sure that all the kinks have been worked out of that die. So that's why I didn't buy it the first time it came out. Darlene says she wants it too. I've had those dies for 8 years. I made tea towels with them. Wow. And Anita says that's beautiful. Woohoo, Feather Star, our dies. Laughing out loud. Love the dies you got me for my birthday. Thanks again, Miss T, and thanks to everyone for your kind comments last Saturday. That's from Kevin. You're so welcome. Winfrey says, I am lost somewhere along the way. I don't know where she's lost though, so I can't help. I need more information. Brenda says, would you buy the Studio over the Go Big Electric? I probably would buy the Studio over the Go Big Electric. And the reason why I say that is because the Studio handle, it's like when you're saying that something cuts like butter, you have a cheap knife and a higher grade knife. That's the difference between the Go and the Studio system. The Studio isn't as hard to turn as the Go system is. So I would say I would get the Studio system. And the reason is because then I got access to all the dies. And then the Studio system cuts 10 layers, whereas the Go cuts 6 layers. And when I'm using a Go board on my Studio, I still only can cut 6 layers because it's the blade in the die board, not the system that you're cutting on. T, I got my pattern yesterday and I'm excited to start. Can you use the dies that came with your Go Me? With your Go Me. Yes, you can use that for the first block. That's the only time you're going to need it. The Go Me comes with 3-inch half square triangle and 3-inch quarter square triangle. That's what you need, the 3-inch quarter square triangle for the first block to make your flying geese. So yes, you can. You just need half square triangles that finish at 1.5 inch. Betsy says, AccuQuilt had a sale today. Buy one, get one 70% off. And that is good if you're getting at least 35% off, because that's about as high as they'll go. But the only way you're going to get 35% off is if you're buying 2 dies that are the same price. And I did a whole video. You all can search. I forget how I worded it because I didn't want to. I don't know if I put AccuQuilt in the title, but I know those buy one, get ones. I was talking about when things are on sale, or they really on sale, something like that. So you have to search for that. But I did a whole video and had a mark board where I was totaling things up for you all on a board to show you sometimes buy one, get one 50% off, buy one, get one 25% off is not really a good sale. So, but 70%, if you're getting the same boards that cost the same price, then they're very close. Hey, Mr. Eric Oda, he's in the house. Okay, so Marketplace. I'm minding my on business, for real, for real. And I see this ad for Kimberbell. Now, I love Kimberbell products. And I normally like the embroidery stuff, so this wasn't all embroidery, but I bought it anyway. It was a whole slew of Kimberbell stuff for $100. Okay, I do try to tell y'all what I pay for this stuff. So the first thing that I got was, I'm going to do the machine embroidery, and I'm going to talk about this. The make yourself at home. And this right here probably is close to $100 by itself. Whenever they do a full quilt and it's a machine embroidered product, then it's gonna be close to $100 or more. And then when I got here, I noticed that the CD was broke. So I can't get the designs off of here. The person I bought it from, she was a Kimberbell dealer and she was selling out. So I knew she had one other one. So I just emailed her back through the marketplace and asked her if she could send me copies of the file so that I could use this. And she just told me that she was going to send me the other disc. So that was really nice of her. So I do like that. I want to make sure I keep that for someday. I think that's make a good housewarming thing too. So yeah, I'll come back to these. I'm going to go through machine embroidered stuff first. She had the Kimberbell for large and jumbo hoops, the Jeanette zipper pouches. So you do that. It's a in the hoop project where you make a whole zipper pouch. And then it's got a mug rug. And this one is called Holiday and Seasonal Mug Rugs, Volume 2. So, okay, just these three things alone is way over $100. But that's not it. She had this book for fall, All the Possibilities for Fall. These are just like applique, regular traditional applique. These are not machine embroidered, these next patterns. And then I think it's 6 patterns in here. Let me get all 6 of them out. One that's Valentine's. It's a bench pillow. This one is Welcome Autumn. The owl is so cute. But again, these are just traditional applique. Deck the halls. And these are not used. These are brand new. I thought when I went to pick them up that they were going to be used. This is ruffled pillows, mug rugs, and ruffled tea towels. So I don't know if you all can see those ruffles. This one is one I could have done without, but I do have patterns to make a monster quilt. So if I ever make that and give it to a kid, it's got a little monster animal, stuffed animal. So I'll add that to that. And then Let's Go Fly Kite bench pillow. So this is still that same $100, okay? We're not done yet. She has the Simple 7 Sewing Series, and it's got 7 projects, what you see on the cover here. Baby stuff, backpack, bags, mug rugs, picnic, silverware holders. And this one is the candle mats. So those are in here. Not necessarily anything that I would do, but it was included in there. So that's really, and it's, I don't know how many candle mats it has. Let me go back and look at the back. 2, 4, 6. So 7 different candle mats are on the back. I don't know if it's different. Okay, so let me take the rest of this out, put the rest of that stuff back in, because we're still working with this $100. Just Kimberbell, anything in a group for $100 is a lot. All right. So, and she took my address and she's gonna mail me the pattern for that. And then also Kimberbell does its own HTV glitter. This is called Copper, brand new. This one is called just Red. Has some Kimberbell accessories with the ribbons. Different colors there. I dropped something. I didn't even know they had watercolor pencils. I don't know how they're using watercolor pencils in the fabric projects, but that'll be interesting. They got their own tape that you use to hold in the hoop projects down, and they said that it won't gum up your needle. I forgot to cut my fan on high. And then the last, no, is it the last thing? Yeah. So I got purse hardware. So I got 3 of the small crescent. They've got 2 in the package. Got 3 of those. And that's what caught my attention on the ad was this. And then this is the small rectangle, just 1 package with 2. And then this is the large crescent right here. And then I asked her if she had any of the designs that go with that, and she says no. So I did go online and see that they have some one design on there that I can buy, and then they refer you to go to your local shop to get the other pieces or other designs for the other shapes. They just had it for the small crescent, and it was in a ice cream cone shape, and I'm like, I'm not really into an ice cream cone shaped purse as an adult. It'd be cute for a kid. So I'm going to have to go to my local quilt shop and see who sells Kimberbell, because I hardly ever buy it in the shop. And I'll have to figure that out so I can get the purse designs. Otherwise, I'm going to be making ice cream cone purses. But yeah, all of that in that bag was $100. Now, that's the kind of stuff that I have a hard time leaving. I just can't like back away from, because I do love Kimberbell, and I know if I buy the designs, I was already over $100 if I had bought the designs myself. So I got that. So that's again Facebook Marketplace. Let's go ahead and open up Dee Dee's. I still got other haul stuff, but I want to open up Dee Dee's box just in case she has to leave. I don't want to use my box cutter on this. I haven't seen this, and remember that this is a 9-year-old's project, and so this is not like just Dee Dee's work. It's her work because she's teaching, so I guess in that sense it's her work to be teaching a youngster to quilt, which is amazing. And so, okay. Okay. Dee Dee, you tape like me, girl. I tape it up good. And Dee Dee, did you are you the one that paid for her supplies, or did her mom pay for her supplies? How are you doing that? Did you just do that as a donation? So this is her quilt backing. And I'm not going to open all of this up because it's pretty big. But it's flannel, and she has sewn various different pieces. I think she might have 4 different pieces of flannel. And this one has, I don't know what this is. I don't know animals. I want to say a koala, but I'm not sure. But it's 4 different pieces of flannel. And then she did this, what you should do with a beginner is do squares. So charm squares, and I'm not going to open it up any bigger than this. But I got some string here, Dee Dee. But very nicely done. And working with point intersections are really good. So she's understanding and doing what she needs to do. Very nice. So I'm looking forward to quilting this. I got to send Dee Dee some designs for her. She's going to have her client, my client, her student, pick out the design that she wants on her quilt. So I need to do that and try to pick out some stuff that a kid would like as well. So awesome job, Dee Dee. Really appreciate that. And let me see what she said if she commented. She said she picked out the squares and she cut on the AccuQuilt. She picked out the backing. So that's pretty cool. And what else? And she says, I had the supplies in my stash, but had to buy the flannel backing. And so Dee Dee is paying me to quilt her customers' quilt. So Dee Dee, what I'm going to do, since you have, for you, because you have had me quilt a lot of quilts for you, I'm going to give you your batting for free. You're not going to have to pay for the batting. Just use that as a donation to your 9-year-old, because I appreciate that you've got somebody that young that's interested in sewing. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to just donate your batting. And Lynette says she did great. Dee, she did a great job. Very nice, from Darlene. And that was from June Hanson, the previous comment. And Teresa says, great quilt, so pretty. And should we use the multi-thread, color thread? Yeah, I'll look at it a little bit more when I get it all opened up and decide what to do with it. And yeah, that's pretty cool. And Stephanie says, I love it. Children are amazing to teach. Yes, they are. So, yeah. Dee Dee says, wow, thank you, T. You're welcome. And Deanna J came in, says, hello, T Quilters. Judy Smith says, late but got here. Hi, T and everyone. And Jean said, that's really nice of you, T. Whenever I can donate something to something like that, when people have supported me and then children are involved, I try to also be part of that to help it go along, because you got one person spending all the money. She's also paying for quilting for it. So she really wants to make sure that this 9-year-old has a nice quilt in the end, not just, okay, it's just squares and we're just going to stitch in a ditch and get it done. She sent it to me all the way from Michigan. That's the least I can do. So that was really nice. Last part, well, not the last part. We're going to be here longer than 8 o'clock at the rate I'm going. I want to show you all some antique quilts. And I still got 2 things I just need to show you all. Again, minding my own business. I need to quit reading the catalogs that come to my house, okay? And I have not ordered from Keepsake Quilting in an eon of years. They have threatened to take me off the mailing list numerous times, probably have, and then they put me back on. All of a sudden, I start back getting them again, getting their emails. And then I got the book, and before I had even looked in the book, I went to their website, and they had this thing, if you sign up, we'll give you 10% off your order. So I'm like, okay. So I re-signed up so I could get the emails, because I wasn't getting emails. And they did have me in the system because it took my old sign-in stuff. However, they still gave me the 10% off. So I wasn't as bothered as much since they gave me the additional 10% off. So they've got my packing slip in here. I've got 2 pieces of fabric here. And it's in plastic. This one's in a plastic bag because it comes in a 2-yard cut bundle. I'm gonna have to open it up because I want y'all to see this. I bought it because it's a music fabric, and eventually one of these days I put it on my to-do list like long time from now, because my daughter and my mother, they take almost every other quilt I make if it ain't in a lecture. So, but my daughter played violin, clarinet, and tenor saxophone. She even went to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and played for their marching band. So she loves music. And so I thought, when I saw this music fabric, I just thought it was so pretty that I just couldn't pass it up. And it's like I've been collecting various music pieces over the years to use in a quilt for her. So yeah, this is just going to be another piece. It only came in a 2-yard bundle. And the packing slip don't have any prices on it. Probably about $15 or something like that. Let me see. I hate to put something up here and then not tell you what it is. And it's called Feel the Music fabric. That's the name of it. Let me see if I can find. Maybe it's under screen shots or something. Sometimes I do a screenshot so I can remember what stuff called. That's not it. So I didn't screenshot that one. So I don't know what it costs. But it was on Keepsake Quilting's website. And then I bought 1 yard of this fabric called Modeled Multi-Texture Felicity fabric by the yard. And it was just because it was bright and pretty. And I kind of hate sometimes when I buy fabric that have gold and silver because I feel like they rub off. But this one don't look like it will. So I just got 1 yard just so that I could test it. And it looks like they cut very generous 1 yard too. So that's all I bought was 1 yard. This is more than a yard. This is a yard. All I bought was a yard because that's all they had. So this must have been the last part of it. And they gave it to me for free. Because when I put more than one in there, it wouldn't even let it ring up. So, yeah, I like that. And then the last thing I bought, which is the biggest item. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got plenty of fabric, but I couldn't find the pattern anywhere for free. And I wanted to make this pattern. So let me take it out of here because it's not even, it's got a big label over the center. I wanted to make this quilt. It's a little bit different than a Lone Star or, you know, the big star quilts because it's an actual burst all the way out and then it's got them into the corners reversed. I kind of like that. So I ended up buying the whole freaking kit. And it is batiks. And whereas I may not like my quilt this dark, now that I've got the pattern, I can decide if I want to make it this way or go ahead and substitute out some of my own batik fabrics as well. So that's the consideration I have. I'll use the black background, but I may end up putting some bright colors to pop off of that black instead of the... Either way, it's pretty, but, you know, I'm more of a dramatic girl. So we'll see what I do if I use this fabric or if I use something else. And the black doesn't look like it's a batik. I don't know. It looks like a Kona cotton to me. Something like that, or a motor solid or something. But yeah, I bought another kit, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with me this year. And then Kevin comes, gives me a notice. I forget which company it is now. Talking about they having a book sale for $9. I told Kevin I don't have any money, but he didn't know I had already spent money. Anyway, by the time I got through with his order for AccuQuilt, my order for AccuQuilt, and then I had been on Keepsake Quilting site, and I also went on Hancock's of Paducah site, and that's not coming. I went on Monday and ordered that on the 20th, so it's not even here yet. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff. And I still got one more item. Let me see what's going on in these comments. I know y'all probably laughing at me. Let's see. A tab of brights would be gorgeous. Yes, I just think it's a little bit too dark for me, but I said I can do it. I love your haul, Miss T. Thank you, Susan. Oh, saw that in the catalog. Also, that's June Hanson. Yes. Expensive pattern. Yes, it is. Hold on. Thank you for the link. Hello, T and friends. Hi, Michelle the quilter. Thank you for your efforts. It has made me a better quilter. That's Deanna J. Thank you. Anita Baker's reminding people to hit the thumbs up. Oh, you had to buy the kit to get the pattern. Yeah, but I was like, you know what? Go and get what you want. So that's what I did. Let me just show for the people that are not in the group. This is our first block of the 4-star general. Got it all pieced up here, ready to go. And then I also made 4 units that are going to be used later in the borders. So I just wanted to show that for people that are not in the group, just to show I did it. And I think I'm done showing you all. Oh, it's sitting right here. This is where I need to like sit my little butt down now. Okay, let me give you a story before I talk about this. I retired from my job in 2015. When I retired, I bought new desktop. And then and I also bought a new laptop. I bought my laptop at Sam's, paid maybe around $400, $450, and they said that it was a great laptop and all of that. And I think it was a great laptop for about 2 weeks. By the time I took it out the box, got it hooked up and used it 2 weeks, my 30-day return period was over. So I've never been really happy with my laptop, and I use my laptop for making t-shirts, and it takes a super long time for it to boot up and all of that. Plus, everything that I had, my desktop and my laptop, is over 6 years old. And I don't know if you all are aware, but in technology, things are changing so fast. And then your computers, even though you clean cache and all that other stuff and get rid of stuff and move stuff, your systems are just going to slow down eventually, no matter what. So I decided I was going to, I've been saying in my head that I'm going to get new desktop and laptop all year. But your girl has not been to the store because I don't like buying that kind of stuff without seeing it. And so I went to the store so that I could, Kevin was going to Best Buy, so I tagged along. And anyway, I found what I was looking for. So, got the laptop. I didn't buy the desktop. So I got my laptop now. And I'm really happy that I got the laptop first, actually, because now I might be more keen to doing more stuff without having to wait, 2 years for the system to boot up. So what did I buy? I am a Samsung user, and I love my Samsung phone. And I was looking for a computer, or a gamer's computer is what I was looking for. And I almost bought one of those. And the only thing was, on most of the gamers that had more memory in them, they didn't have the number keypad. And I'm a number girl. I got to, I use my number key a lot. So I need a laptop that's 15.6 inches, not 13. So I ended up walking around a little bit more, and then I found this Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360. So that's what I bought. Right there. I've already opened it. I've already taken it out. There are a few things coming out the box I didn't like about it. It really holds fingerprints on the surface. I don't know why they can't make laptops where your fingerprints don't show on the surface. So I have ordered skin for it. I've got it's coming, and I've ordered screen protectors, and I've ordered, because they got new technology as far as using USB. This is now USB-C. And also, it's helping my phone charge faster, because I didn't know they had USB-C on both ends. I knew they had USB-C, but I didn't know they had USB-C on both ends. The power cord is not like your normal laptop power cord. It's more like a pumped up one that you would use for your phone. So it's not that big bulky card anymore. So I'm real happy with it. Cost me a pretty penny, but I'm really happy with it. I got everything that I want in it. I got extra memory. I got a terabyte of space. It does not have a hard drive because these are super thin. I'll show it to you. It's super thin. And Diane says she loves her Galaxy Tab. This is my second Samsung phone. I started with the Samsung 4. I now have the Samsung 9. I use my stuff for, like I said, I bought the phone and my iPad in 2016. So all of my stuff is just a little bit old, but I keep my phone as long as they're working. My iPad I use for recording because of the camera, and it'll go until it won't go anymore. It's only mostly used for YouTube, playing games, and reading books. I use it as my e-reader. So I do travel with my iPad a lot. But I just wanted to show you how thin these are. And it only weighs like 3 pounds. So laptops in Pro, or this one's now a ProBook too. So it's a laptop with the 10-key keyboard, but then it also flips around and becomes a tablet, and then it changes the orientation as well. So yeah. So I think I'm going to be happy with it. I'm just not happy with all these fingerprints that I see. So I got to clean it all up. I got the screen protector, but I don't have the skin yet. So I'm waiting on the skin to come in so that I can clean this up and then cover it so that it's not. And I just got a plain blue screen for the skin because I want it to look like the Samsung book, not look like, I didn't want bright, vivid colors. I wanted to look like the Galaxy Book Pro. So I just got the same color skin as the laptop, and I'm just covering it so that I don't have all those fingerprints showing. That's my only negative about this thing so far. I've used it for 3 days. So yeah. What, you didn't get the zebra print skin? Last time I got a laptop skin, I got the pink fleur-de-lis stuff. And boy, I even bought a mouse that was the same color. I said, girl, don't be so gaudy all the time. And like, if I see it, everybody else is going to see it too. So this time I said, I'm staying with the navy blue. We're going to keep intact with this navy blue color. So don't tempt me, because I started to put 2 skins in there in case I want to switch it out one day. But I said, you know what? We're just going to leave it with this blue. So that's what I actually bought. So I don't know, you all want me to show you these? I got 100 people in here, so I think you all are okay with me going over the hour today, correct? And Remo's reminding people to hit the thumbs up. I'm trying to figure out, like, what did I do with the other stuff I had? Maybe I didn't bring it in here because I kept looking for, I went back looking for some stuff that I couldn't find, but I want to make sure I don't have it because I moved stuff around. So let me put this back. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, it's right here. See, I'm glad I looked. I've been moving stuff around. So I talked about showing you all some antique quilts I got from my quilting friend. So I want to show you that. We'll talk about this in a bit. But first, I want to talk about some of the stuff that I got in my stash. And I couldn't find all of my blocks because I got some double T blocks that I want to put together. And I pulled them out. And I had them in a drawer when I was reorganizing another space. And then I realized that I needed that space for more fabric scraps because it was in my fabric scraps areas. And I was thinking everybody had a color. Well, purple, blue, and green wanted 2 drawers. So I had to move what I had in those extra drawers out. I don't know where I put the other antique blocks that I have. But I thought I would show you what I got. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to even put these things together here. This is just a piece of a block. Let me show you a better one. Now, this one actually has the corners on it with pillow ticking, okay? And they are pretty beat up. Somebody gave me these. So I don't know if I should try. I think what I will do is if I ever decide to use these, I would put the quilt together and then soak the entire quilt in like a OxyClean solution instead of washing each block and having that block shrink up. What do you all think? And Damali says, it's all right with me. Please stay. Yes. Teresa says, hi, Miss Post Office, retired lady from another post office, retired lady. I didn't retire from the post office. I don't know if she's talking to me or somebody else. I didn't retire from the post office. But yeah, but this It's all set-in seams, all hand stitched, and not badly stitched either. Actually, a good hand stitch. So I'm just surprised. So I'm gonna have to figure out something with these. I mean, did an excellent job, and there's quite a few of them in here. This is the only one that doesn't have its finishing pieces. So, but good, all kinds of good stains in here, okay? Probably was in a cedar chest. And I can't even to this day remember who even gave them to me. But these are a few antique blocks. I have to look up the name to see even what this is called, because it's not an evening star. Because it's got all that piecing around the outside edge. So I need to put other stuff in here. Put this back. And Diane says that she would put it together too. I think a great idea to wash as a whole quilt. Yes, that's what I think. Put it together, then wash, or wait until it's quilted to wash. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the entire quilt, quilted and everything, and then do it. Yeah, okay. So I'm not sure if these are true antique blocks. They look like they could be. They are machine stitched though. Some of them are hand pieced and some are machine stitched. That's weird. Some are hand pieced. Weird. But here's the design. Right here. And they even did a good job with seam pressing and everything. But like I said, this one's got me stumped because some of them are pieced. Some of them are hand pieced. And this muslin, it's a weird kind of weave to it that makes it look like it's the older style muslin, but I'm not really sure. So these were also given to me, but I'm not really sure if they're true antiques or if there just was a reproduction quilt. I don't know if Kevin's still here. Is he still here? Yep. He says, you are singing my song with these antique quilty goodness now, Miss T. Yes, I knew it. I knew it. Eric says, wow, that's a cool block. Yes, and I think I might do, this one is kind of like diagonal seams because of the way they did it, but you could also do this with half square triangle. So maybe I might do a video on this particular block and maybe do it with, so it's easier to do, or do it maybe both ways and let people pick what they would like to do. That'll be fun too, to see which one's easier to do. So let me put this back in the block bag. And then the last thing, well, not the last thing, because we're just getting started. I don't know if you all have ever seen that I made a quilt top of the apple core. I used the AccuQuilt die cutting system. But what I did was I used some of the older fabrics in my stash to make them with. And these are mine. I had given them to my friend Diana, so because I had pieced my quilt top. And she said, oh, I want to try that, but I don't like cutting them out. I said, well, you can have my extra pieces. We were at a scrap club meeting. And then when I went and did her estate sale, I saw that she still had them laying there. So I picked my pieces back up. Being the Indian giver that I am, I'm like, nobody is getting my pieces. And my quilt top has not been quilted because I want to add a border onto it. Now, I don't have my quilt in here. It's in my case because I was waiting for me to either cut and piece more of these to make my border unit. And so now I don't have to cut. I just need to start back piecing now. So I'm going to put that in the bag. And the reason why I showed you that, on my quilt, I used a plaid setting. Trying to get this box down. I don't want to put this one on the floor now. It's taking up a lot more space than it needs to, height-wise. Okay. I was just wanting to talk to you about that because my she'll be 98. She was 98 this week, I think. My customer, she got these quilts from one of her quilting friends, she told me. I did go back and ask her, were these hers or were they somebody else's? And so she got these from somebody else. And these are antique quilts that are already pieced, quilt tops. And this one has some extra pieces, but I don't really have to do nothing. I can just quilt this and go. Be done. I don't even have to stitch anything. And these are all hand pieced. Huge, huge quilt. Okay? It's so big, I can't show it to y'all. I've turned the corner here. It is huge. It is huge. So mine's where I'm going to cut off the edges and make it a border and add it into, like my border, I'm going to make board blocks that is going to go into a border with my pieces. And then I'm going to end it with another different border. So it's going to get two borders in the end. I'm losing my thread. But I can't believe somebody gave me this. And she says, I don't know if you're interested in something like this. I'm like, are you kidding me? I hurry up and snatch that up. These are the pieces that I have left that I can put on or not. If I decide I want to go through the trouble of piecing this on, I will. But if I decide when I lay it out that it's pretty big enough, then I will stop right there. Now I thought I had a couple more small pieces, but maybe I don't. So I don't know. I don't see anything. I just hit the mic. Sorry, guys. It might be a couple more like two-piece units, like the two pieces that I might need to add on for the row, because I could have sworn there were a couple more little small pieces, but right now I don't see that. Could be in the bottom of the bag. Could be in the quilt that I didn't open up all the way to. That's not it, guys. There is more. I'll show you the least interesting thing she gave me was some blocks, and I don't know how long these are. Some panel blocks of birds, different types of birds. And I have colored some bird blocks with crayons. And I think these will look really good in between those with the crayons. So just a panel, and I think it's 2 or 3 of the panels. So I got that from her as well. I don't know how old this is. Let's see. Concord Fabrics is who printed it. Let me see if I can find on a salvage on another. Nope, because these are cut out. Crankston Printworks, VIP screen. This one's got Wild Ducks picture book patches. So it was for a picture book. And doesn't have any year on here at all. But it would have been nice if it had the copyright year. Yeah. But VIP mostly was stuff that you would get from Joann's. So I was surprised. She said, you probably wouldn't want this. I go, oh, yes, I do. I got blocks, bird blocks I need to put together. So this would be great with those. And my bird blocks have been cut for a long time. Betsy said, wow, just wow. Apicore, feminine hygiene product quilt. Sorry. A quilter said that to me once using the actual words, and I cannot think of it when I see a quilt like that. Please don't hate me. Whatever. I'm happy over here. I ain't hating anybody right now. I got 2 more things I want to show you. And then this is the other quilt that I have on my to-do list eventually in my future at some point before I die. Okay? Pain in the butt to make. The Grandmother's Flower Garden. They got all the blocks up here made up. Just need the blocks to make it, put it together into the sashings, okay? And I think a few of them had muslin that they were going to use for sashing. And it's a little bit dusty and dirty. But if somebody has made all of the blocks for me, I think I can take all of these white pieces off and use some updated white. So I don't have to worry about that, because that's the only place where you see the aging of the colors is on the white, because of being in that cedar chest again. They're just awful dirty. So yeah, I got all of this too. Lots and lots of blocks. So whatever this is would be the size of my grandmother's flower garden, that would be the end of that. And one more set of blocks. I had never seen this block piece like this before, where it's in settee and seams. Again, another stack of blocks. Lots of them. Let's see if they're hand pieced. They're machine pieced. And they are cattywampus as all get out on the inside. So I'm thinking on the seams, I'm thinking what they did was they marked the fabric for the sew line, because I've got different thicknesses of seams in the back. But look at this. It's almost like an attic window, but it's got a cross in it. I have to look up these blocks just so I can see what the names are. I'm just wanting to show you a different one now. Just gorgeous. And she said that the lady at her church gave them to her, thought maybe she either could finish them because they're both aging, and thought maybe she'd finish them or she knew somebody that would finish them. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, I don't have to donate these to charity. Said, you can do whatever you want with them. And I go, great. Because somebody in the charity wouldn't even, if you give it to an organization, most likely the person that gets it isn't going to recognize that these are antique. So this is pretty cool. I am happy, happy, happy. And like I said, somebody even gave me double T blocks that I got in a special place right now. I got to figure out where I put those. Let me put you back in here. And then as a final treat, I will show you a quilt that I'd say I've had this quilt now for about 15 years. It came to my job. I work for the state mental health hospital. I was a research analyst there. And our volunteer department, we would get donations from different people. And then we would have a yard sale or gym sale, whatever you want to call it. We'd have a sale, and they would sell those items so that they could raise money. And they used the money to buy stuff for patients that were indigent, or buy Christmas gifts for the patients. So they made sure everybody had a Christmas gift during the holiday. So they might just have ice cream socials and things like that. So they just made money by selling the stuff that was donated to them. So in comes this quilt. And initially on the form, they had down like $30 or something, that it was going to be one of those silent auction. But you know how you have the piece of paper and you see everybody who's bid it before you. So I saw it because I was helping them set up, and I happened to go back and walk around before I left. And I said, oh, this quilt's in here. So I pulled the quilt up and looked at it, and I go, I think this is an antique quilt because of this orange in here. I remember reading in some of the older books talking about quilts where they were saying that they sometimes would use orange when they were in the log cabins that didn't have electricity, because orange was a color that helped brighten up a room. So I was like, that's that orange I just read about not too long ago. And yeah, so I went over to closely inspect it. It's got that old-fashioned style muslin. It was also put into a cedar chest, so it had cedar chest spots, not bad, but like 2 or 3 spots on the back. So I went over there and I just said, okay, I'm willing to pay $100 for this quilt just because I'm donating it to a cause. But what I did, because I figured once I put something on it that they was going to know that it was worth something, so I went ahead and put like $50 on it, because I figured nobody at the job would put $50 on it. And I think somebody else bid it over a little bit. And so I think I got the quilt for like $65, $70. This quilt was made in the early 1800s. At the time when I got it, because it wasn't really 100 years old yet, it only appraised at around $500. And she did say that the reason why it appraised like that was because it was group hand quilted. You know, when you sit around the quilt frames. But for me, it made it more valuable to me because it means to me that it was actually a true quilting bee quilt. And the appraiser could see where there had different hand stitching in it. And so that's why she said it wasn't like perfect hand stitching, that it was like group done. But for me, That's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. So I was happy with it. I'm sure if I had it appraised today, because now it's over 100 years old, it would appraise at a little bit more. So it's a true antique now. But you can tell by just the backing that it is the color of that and the texture. You can't see the texture or feel it, but you know what old muslin kind of looked like. And then they did the Baptist fan stitching, which was a traditional thing to do as well. And it doesn't have any, if it's got batting in it, I can't tell. It feels like just fabric put together and then they quilted it. It doesn't feel like any batting is in here. And then when I opened it up and saw that it was double T, I knew I had to take the quilt home. So here's the quilt. Oops. Let me see if I can open it up a little bit more. You all know I don't have much space here, but I try to do the best I can. But yeah, so I paid about $65-$70, and I really didn't mind paying that because this meant more to me than anybody else. It doesn't even have a label. So the family member who donated it, and they, of course, they get stuff donated and they weren't paying attention. Don't know who donated this quilt to our organization. So I have no history on it. And it was made in Missouri. The quilter's family was the people who dropped it off, and their family was in rural Missouri. That's all I know. I know nothing else about this quilt. But I know it had that red fabric and that orange fabric, and I said, I am not letting that quilt go home with somebody who don't understand the value of this particular quilt. But I love this quilt. I keep it mostly up, but I just did a presentation on Dear Jane to a church hand quilting group, and I knew that they would appreciate seeing this. It was a couple weeks ago, so I left it out so I could show it to you all, but this is the first time I'm able to present it to you guys. But yeah, I am so in love with this quilt, and it's just gorgeous. Just different blues and different backgrounds throughout the double T blocks. And we've got these double T blocks in our 4-Star Generals quilt too. I think we got 2 different ways of making them in there. So that's the last thing I have to show for those that want to go. But I'm going to try to see if I can read any other comments that's been going on, because I haven't read any comments on anything since the apple core I showed you all. Hold on. Awesome T, it's a king. Oh, that apple core quilt. Yeah, and then somebody says, Virgin says, stop, I can't take any more, laughing out loud. Tiffany says, beautiful. And Tiffany collects antique fabrics and does, finishes off or can make antique looking quilts as well with her vintage fabric. And I've been getting rid of all my vintage fabric because I'm tired of looking at it. I may have to go to Tiffany's house to go get some fabric to finish these quilts. Deborah says, lovely top. Extra pieces of quilt can be pillowcases. That's true too, Dee Dee. You could make 2 twins bed-size quilts with it. I don't know if I'm going to take anything apart on that apple core. It's just a matter of will I put anything on it. And what I would probably do is that long strip I got, I could take it apart and double it up and make just one big pillow sham or something, make 2 or 3 rows with that one. But I don't think I would be taking anything off of that quilt. But I'm going to lay it out on my deck, someplace where I can get everything and see how flat it is. It looks good because it was hand pieced. So I just want to see what shaping and size it has to see if I absolutely need to add that other piece on there. But if I don't, it ain't going on there. It's going somewhere else. Ella says, on Missouri Star, those last blocks are called brown goose, made with half square triangle. Yes. Okay, because that's the one I said it looked like it'd be easier to make with half square triangles instead of parallelograms. Yes. Crap of Love, I think you put it in that small clear bag. Those extra pieces. Small clear bag. This was the one I put my old pieces in, my pieces. And yeah, that was that one. So I'm glad you're watching, because that does help though. But those were my pieces. They had some extra pieces that was with that one too. But I'll find them. I just probably need to shake it out. It might be stuck to it. Kevin's, I read Kevin's mess. Craft of Love says, I love birds. Oh, yeah, that would look nice with your birds. Beautiful antique items, T. Blessed. Yes. Um, Jean says, I like that one. Dee says, what a haul. Yes. I wasn't expecting it to get this big. And then I wasn't expecting to go get a laptop. I wasn't expecting to go get 2 things off of Facebook Marketplace. It just kept growing. Virgil says, hey, T, I have some blocks I will send you. Okay, I'll take them. And sometimes I like them, too, because I can maybe do a video on how to piece them as well. So that would be awesome. Wow. Tom says, hey, T, just home from dog class. Hey, Tom, I know we're on that Wednesday again that he can't make. You are blessed with the goodness, T. Yes. Sue says, on the grandmother's flower garden, you could applicate them on a white background. My vision in my head, I saw one that was done with green, solid green, and it just looked so pretty that I think I want to duplicate that quilt. It was so pretty. But yes, you're correct with that too. Judy says, I like those blocks. Slowing Down Joe says, wow, you received some real treasures. Yes. Yes, T, real cool. So nice. Maybe you can combine some of those blocks into a quilt, T. Yes. I would like to make them all just a separate quilt. But like I said, that one where they were so badly stained, that's the one I'm most concerned about. And Mary says she wants an antique quilt and or blocks. Betsy says, do you do quilt appraisals? For money, of course. No. I use, it's 2 people in the St. Louis area. I have to think of the name of the other one, but I know Ann Hazelwood is one. And I'm blocking the other lady's name, but I can see her face. I have to think about it. But I can get you some information because I've had a couple of my quilts appraised just so that my immediate family, my husband, my daughters would know that your family member ain't around here just spending money and it's not worth anything. I've had quilts that have hung in Paducah. I had one quilt in Paducah, one quilt in Nashville show, all AQS shows. And then I've had quilts that were juried into local shows here, but it was a juried show. And they need to know that certain quilts of mine are worth a lot of money. So I have had quite a few quilts appraised, but I haven't had any appraised recently. I haven't really been submitting any of my quilts in to be appraised. I haven't really made any show quality quilts per se. I got some quilts that could be, but they didn't start out to be a show quilt. So that's what I'm saying, I guess. So I haven't submitted anything. Oh my goodness, how beautiful is that? Wow, that's beautiful. That first block from what you showed is called Fool's Puzzle. I had to look for it when I did in 2019. That's Tiffany. You talking about the ones that had the diamonds? That's Tiffany. I'll have to message her and make sure we're on the right thing, on the right quilt top. Because I thought the second one with the zigzaggy things might have been a Fool's Puzzle. But maybe that's me. That's really a nice antique quilt. Too bad no label. Yes, too bad. And that's why I always put labels on my quilt. And then I might shorthand it if I'm going to give it to somebody as a gift. I might write it or do a purchase label. Like when I showed y'all yardage labels, I don't do like the fancy embroidered labels. But if it's a quilt of mine that I made, I make sure I get that label on there. I just don't want that to happen to me. Virgie says, my grandma used to hand quilt that Baptist fan design. The quilt you have, it's a beauty. So thank you. That's from Virgie. Susan says, oh my goodness, that is one beautiful quilt. Yes, it is. And I keep it. I do store it in a plastic container. But I have holes in it so that it gets air. But I would never put it into a cedar. And I have way too many quilts to start trying to acidify everything. And as you all can see, it's been like I said, I've had it 20 years and nothing other than what the damage was that I got. I got a few on the back of you only can see it on the back. I've got a few stains from the cedar chest that the family members had it in. So my plastic is working better than their cedar. I just put holes in the container so that it can breathe in there. But I have way too many quilts to be trying to just store just one. But 20 years and it has worked. And I don't pull it out. And then if I let anybody see it, like when I took it to the place, I knew that they had a bed. They had, not a bed, they have those handrails for hand quilting. So I knew they were going to have the rails up and they already had a quilt on it. So I just laid this quilt on top of that like it was a bed. That's why I'm thinking bed. And then I had it in a quilt show once. And what I did was I put a sleeve on it and I made sure that I hung my own quilt. It was in my own quilt show. And then I made sure when I put it through the pole that it was, the sleeve was not, the pole wasn't touching the back of the quilt. It was inside the pole. Because if you don't sew your edge of your sleeve down, the people that are hanging your quilt don't really care. So I have had it hung. And then I took that sleeve back off because I didn't want to, it wasn't part of the original quilt. So I took it back off. But yeah, I don't let anybody touch it, mess with it. I'm all around them when they come into this because I don't want any more damage to this. So, Dee Dee says, really striking quilt with that cheddar color. Really odd, but it's very modern look. Yes, and it's cheddar and orange. I like both, two brights, which was so weird. That is two brights. That is awesome. So worth what you spent. I love how bright and happy it looks. Yes. And then Beverly says it's a beautiful quilt. Tiffany says that looks like Harry Potter color quilt. Dorleen says I have an antique quilt that needs to be washed. Grandmother's flower garden found in an attic of an old house. All hand stitched and no label. That is so sad. Stephanie says I love that quilt tee. What a great find. Teresa says somebody else. Sorry, I don't remember her name. Okay. Tinanji says, just recently purchased templates for grandmother's flower garden. He says it is worth hundreds of dollars. Yes. Like I said, even though she only appraised it was like at $486 or something because it wasn't a true antique at the time that I got it. It was only like 80 something years old. And then she's doing approximations. When you have an appraiser, they're doing approximations based on their understanding and knowledge of quilt fabrics. And they might have books that they pull out to see if they can find those particular fabrics and things like that. So in this appraiser that I use, the other appraiser is Haley Boone, Betsy, Haley Boone. The one that I use, Ann Hazelwood, she's a little bit, she's more stingy with pricing. So I figured if I give it to her, I know it's worth more than what she's going to appraise it at. And it's appraised at replacement value, I think. So, Crap of Love, that's gorgeous tea, and have your initials too. You got that right. They made that quilt just for me. Helen Tajar says, Tater says, T, that quilt is you, beautiful. Thank you, Helen. Francis says, good night all. Quilt Gal says, wow, beautiful. Deborah Quilt says, just finished my covered binder. She, I was in the 4-Star General group I was talking about. I showed them how Deborah had made me a binder. And I took other stuff out of it. And I said, instead of having an ugly book that I'm going to be toting around for a whole year, 13 months, I took the stuff out of there and put put my other papers in the ugly binder that's just sitting there as a file storage. And Deborah made me this with some gorgeous Asian print. And so she was at home, got her binder, and she was like, how you gonna, well, she didn't say this, but in her head, I'm sure she going, how you gonna have a pretty book and I'm gonna have a plain one? So I didn't think she was going to make it this fast. She hasn't even pulled fabric for her blocks, but she got her binder covered. That's awesome, Deborah. Great haul. Thank you, T. Teresa says, that quilt was meant for you. I got goosebumps. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. Wow, from Lynette. Susan says, I love hand quilting and love the Baptist fan pattern. It's my favorite. And that's one of those things that can go on any type of sampler type quilts that won't take away from it. Actually, that's the quilting design that I am using for my 4-Star General quilt when it is done. I'm actually using the Baptist fan, even though it's not it's not reproduction look. I am still going to put that on my quilt because I think it still just be nice with that. And let the block still shine and not be overworked by the quilting. So no, don't take it apart. I'm not taking an apple core apart and making no two quilts. Stephanie says, I have two quilts that my grandmother quilted and I will never part with them. I want to add some type of label to them. And that would be all that I would do to them, is I would just add labels and then try to, if you want to get them appraised. I think you can appraisal. I'm just going to guess. I would say you're going to probably pay $50 for an appraisal. And it's not about what the quilt is valued at. It's about knowing what time period when something was made for sure. Documenting, getting the documentation on it so that the next person that gets that quilt has that documentation. So I just need to probably just make a label, and I don't have any maker information. All I can put is the owner is me. And I can tell you when I got it, because as soon as I got it appraised within a month. So yeah, that's about all I know to put on here, and I can put the time period that my paperwork has on there. So, but it's not a lot. No wonder you can't sleep at night. You are too excited about your next quilting discovery. You got that right. Goose tracks. Jean says, did someone say dog class? Diane says, Mom used green to make her grandmother's flower garland. Yeah, for some reason, I like that. It's not a hunter green. It's this medium shade of green that just pulls calmness into a quilt. I have no idea what that color is, but I know it when I see it. T, what do you recommend for cleaning an old hand-stitched quilt? One small area needs repair. Any suggestion on products to use? I'm afraid to mess it up. I am not the antique person. Most times, I know that Haley, the appraiser here, if you got one that you want repaired, she will repair quilts. And they actually collect and try to keep the oldest fabrics that they can find. And so when they get a quilt, they try to put a piece of fabric that is very close to what's already in the quilt if they've got to use a new piece of fabric. So I am not the expert on that, but I have heard of people saying that they have left antique quilts like this soaking in OxyClean water solution, and then they may have to do it 2 or 3 times, but they leave it like overnight. And then they come back, they squish it out in the tub, because you're using your tub, not a washing machine. So if you only got one tub, just know that's going to be out of commission for a little bit. And then they say if some of the stains don't come out, then they'll do it 2 or 3 times, whatever's necessary. But and then when you dry it, they just lay it flat, either in their line on top of other sheets, so that it's laying out flat and not hanging while it's wet. Because when you have hand stitch and you don't want to go hang a quilt on the line, you're going to have a possibility of pulling those stitches since the quilts are so old. But that's all I know. But I'm sure you can Google all kinds of stuff about how to take care of an antique quilt. Okay. Yes, Tiffany. So we're on the same one. Jean says, good night, everyone. You all have a good night. Thank you, Jean, for popping in. June's talking to Vicky. Beth says, time for bed for me. Good night, Beth. Good night, Beth. Oh, my. T, you are so generous. I am not surprised at all your wonderful findings. Well, thank you. My husband bought a raffle ticket from a local guild and won a beautiful dress and play quilt back in the 1980s. I have never been able to do anything like that. I have only won probably one time my guild optional block. I don't know if I won because I remember people feeling sorry for me and just giving me the blocks. Deborah has won quite a few times, and she wins. She's pretty lucky in drawing. So let's see. Yes, I wondered how you would quilt it. Deborah Quilt says, no fabric pull yet, but pattern is now in the binder. Wash your hands says, still stinking hot here in California. People are talking about the weather. Helen says, if a quilt was made in your state, sometimes they will register it. did that with a quilt made in Massachusetts and still have the paperwork for the quilt. I have never tried looking it up. I'll see if there's some kind of database that the state has. I'm not sure. Missouri is a very conservative state. We're always last to pick up anything, whether it's good or bad for you. They tend to wait, be the last ones jumping on board on anything. Sue says, I've seen a mint green in the flower garden quilt. Yes, and it's probably closer to that color, like a mint green. But it is just so beautiful when it's put into that setting. Maria Field says, hi, T and fellow quilt. Sorry, I'm late. Kids checking on husband after seeing surgeon. He was released by surgeon, so that's good news. So, yes, prayers for you all and your family, Cynthia. Yarn It Out says, hello, all. Hi, welcome to the channel. Haley Boone. Bone. It's Bone instead of Boone. Okay, because I thought it was double O. Okay, so it's Haley Bone. Thank you. Vinegar and baking soda mixed with water or OxyClean soaking tub for old quilts is my suggestion. And that's Tiffany. That's what I would do. I have OxyClean. I know vinegar and baking soda probably will work, but I don't know if I want to go that strong because of the reaction of vinegar and baking soda. But I probably will start with OxyClean because it doesn't fizz up like if you do baking soda and vinegar. But yeah, there are many home solutions. You don't want to go use a regular detergent, that's for sure. Jason Lewis says, hi, T, popping in from St. Louis. Hi, Jason. Welcome. Quilt Gal says, they make retro quilt wash for old quilts. Yeah, but it's so expensive. It's a ripoff, too. It'll work, but it's either like horse shampoo or something like that. It's just overpriced stuff. But you can use that. But I would personally use OxyClean because I use it in my clothes, and it does take out odors and stuff like that, but it won't damage your fibers. And I haven't washed this quilt because of this red. I said, I'm just scared. So it has never seen water. I do not recommend any chemicals in washing machines for old quilt tubs and hang to dry. I wouldn't hang it. I would lay it to dry, I think. I would put sheets down like I got a big deck or use my yard. I would let it, because when you take it out your tub, you're not going to be able to wring all that water out, and it's going to still be heavy and a lot of water. So if you go hang all of that wetness, I feel like it's going to pull on the fibers and the threads in that quilt. So I would lay it to dry first and get it to be like 50-60% dry and then maybe hang it, but I wouldn't just go straight to a hang on an antique quilt, just to make sure. And I think that's it. What an amazing find, T. Thank you, Lizette. Kansas is worse than Missouri. She's talking about for change. Yes, honey, we are a mess in the Midwest. We not fast to make any changes. The extra large quilt, what bed size will it fit? I have no idea. It's never been on a bed. I ain't even thinking about putting it on a bed. I can't remember the size of it. I didn't measure it before I came in here. But this quilt has never been on a bed. So Vivian Calby says good night. Good night, Vivian. We're going to be ending here. We're almost going on our second hour here. And I did not realize, I thought I'm going to be just showing this stuff. It's going to be over and done. And then I kept adding, and time flies when you're having fun, right? So use shout color catchers and a few sheets. Yeah. She's talking about if I ever wash this, but I'm not washing this right now. I'm not in any hurry to do anything with this quilt. I will be washing those other blocks because they're so stained that you can see it on the front, whereas this quilt, you can't see any staining from the front. And another thing that was weird about this quilt is that you can see where it has this little binding like that, but then on this side, it's just red flip to the back, then the white flip to the front. It's weird, and I like quirky stuff like that. See that? It is the weirdest thing I I've ever seen. And I don't think that there's a batting in here. It's just 2 layers of fabric quilted together. So very quirky. My stepdaughter put one of my antique quilts in the washing machine. Now it has rips in it. Yes, you don't want to do that. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm. No washing necessary for that quilt. You got that right. This will not see water. Unless a catastrophe happens. Tiffany says, I was able to make food and eat while you were on, T. Great entertainment. Quilt talking while I eat. Ha. That's pretty cool. So for those of you that don't know, Tiffany has a channel as well. She does a lot of live impromptu videos as well as do some uploads. Wash Your Hands says, the orange quilt is amazing. I love it. Thank you. Jolene says, we enjoy our time with UT and our other quilting friends. Makes for a great evening. Yes. It was so funny when I came over into the room to make the announcement that, the live is today, because I had put Wednesday in the title, 9/22 Wednesday chat. And apparently people missed that. But you all were in here just to chat. And I said they just love each other. And I love that you all can be self-entertained in the chat room. It's really awesome. Horse soap is Orvis. Yes, Quilt Gal. Thank you. Maybe it's a summer quilt with no batting. That's true, because I'm telling you, if it was batting in here, it must have disappeared. Like, really went down. But it's densely quilted, so I can't see how all the batting would disappear. I say it's no batting. Thank you, T. You're welcome, Tiffany. Mary says, take care, everyone, until we meet again. Thanks for a fun evening, everyone. That's from Helen. So we're going to go ahead and end here, guys. I've been on here long enough. I got to eat. I got to take medicine that I'm really late taking now. But I appreciate every last one of you. Thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all Saturday night. Hopefully we'll be sewing something. Last Saturday I wasn't in the mood for sewing. It was just too much going on. So hopefully I'll get some sewing done other than working on this, because I was making tutorials for people in the Facebook group. So that's the only sewing I've done. So I will see you all later. You all take care. Stay safe. Be blessed. And quilt out, everybody.